Good morning, gardening friends. Today is Sunday, the 9th of November, and I am sitting here relaxing on my front porch. My monstera is looking great. I finally turned it away from the window and it allowed the leaves to fully open. I may wind up moving that to the living room for the winter. We'll have to wait and see. But a lot has happened this week. A lot of activity, all good. The Garconniere, what has now been completely redone inside. The old cracks in the plaster were in the wallboard were sealed, spackled, covered over, and the room was painted. 2 coats of paint, a beautiful yellow. You'll see it later. Hopefully next week. Literally, it finished yesterday afternoon. So I haven't had a chance to put the room back together again yet, but that will happen this week. And I'll show you next week. We'll probably start there. But all is well here. I did bring the plants in that I normally keep out in the Garconniere. That one, my poinsettia. It's doing well. I've had that poinsettia now for about, I want to say 5 or 6 years. And it blooms, but it never blooms in time for Christmas. It blooms usually in January, February time frame. All my clocks are going off. The Phalaenopsis still doing well. And here is what the bulbs look like. Amaryllis, no buds yet, and my paper whites. It's about time to start a second batch of all 3 of those, because these will probably bloom in the next 3 weeks or so, and I'd like to have some around for Christmas. I do like that fern, the staghorn fern. It will get long and it'll have to be moved up the chain with time. So far, no buds on my Christmas cactus. Hopefully it will do it this year. Never can tell with that. Let's take a quick run. 8 o'clock. Oh, we're going into the cuckoo clock area. Yeah, that one I haven't taken out yet. But this Phalaenopsis is looking good. And it will live there until the flowers fall off, and then I will find another spot for it. There's a bird. I don't know if you can see out the window. But I do like to sit here and kind of watch the birds every now and then. It's either a young adult or a female cardinal eating some food. Miss Mimi is still doing well. Well, she was in there until I was talking, so I don't know where she went. My guess is she's probably sneaking a drink of water. Miss Mimi? Yep, that's what she's doing. What are you doing? The big news, of course, for next week is there is a chance an unseasonable cold wave is going to hit us. And it looks like we're going to get our first frost of the year on Tuesday morning, Monday night. They're anticipating it getting down to 30. So we shall see. So we'll spend special time today looking at the tropicals that will disappear. Sorry about making you dizzy, but I'm backing out of the front deck here, front porch rather. All is well here in the potager. I'll leave the pumpkins until Thanksgiving. I planted my lettuces in the shade, so they're not really doing real well, but you can harvest enough for an addition to a salad. This lavender likes its life here. It has definitely doubled in size since I planted it. And I took some of my green onions this week. I made some Westlake beef soup, a Chinese soup. Well, we had another casualty, the second of my cactuses. The Opuntia cactus fell. And so now I'm kind of rethinking what I'm going to do with this. But we shall see. I haven't quite decided. I may look at this as an opportunity to maybe lose the Opuntia altogether. I've had it for 25 years. It's kind of like an old friend, but sometimes you just have to let go. Or else take cuttings and start them again in the center like I was planning. So we shall see. Well, at least now it's the same height on both sides. It certainly will be perfectly happy to live the way it is. So, I mean, it's not going to die if I just leave it be. So for now, I will ponder what to do. Here's a good view. The other thing that happened this week was, you could see my chimney up there. The chimney was painted by the roofers. That was part of the contract. So that looks good. They still have to put the gutter up in the backyard. Hasn't happened yet, but hopefully next Monday or next week it'll happen. Cassia is in bloom in the front yard. It's doing well. It may be protected enough from the frost. You'll just have to come next week or view next week and see what's still alive. Frost does tend to fall from above, so things that are under trees will tend to stay a little bit warmer. My figs look like they're starting to turn color a little bit. Might make it, might not. We'll have to wait and see. The big news here was, because of the frost coming, I went ahead and played some musical pots. This year I've decided I'm getting a little too old to fuss with all the plants that I bring in and out over the winters. So I'm trying to pare down to 3 or 4 that I really, really, really can't replace. And so one of them was the ponytail palm that was in that spot. So that is near the Garconniere, where it will probably live for the winter. That's one of the things I want to quickly move into the Garconniere after I put the stuff back. Here the azaleas are still blooming a little bit. I did go ahead and plant my irises here and there. Those were the ones that I had rooted in pots. All the gardenias are looking, the camellias are looking well. They have a lot of buds on them. This one is my favorite. This is the high fragrance camellia. It doesn't have a lot of buds, but it has quite a few. I did go ahead and open up the top of this. One of the things I did do gardening wise was I limbed up these loquats in the front yard so that it gives a little more sunlight to the plants underneath. But yeah, all of the camellias will be starting shortly in this area. I'm a little sore today from all the walking I was doing this last week, especially yesterday. But it's going to look good. Oh, I have to put this chair back. The one problem with putting this little table here is every time anyone has to get into the backyard with equipment, you kind of have to move one of the chairs out of the way. Still have some tomatoes. Oh, of course the camellia here is still in bloom. Let me actually step back because that is such, still have my chrysanthemums there, and the equisetum is actually looking good. I may switch that back into the backyard, but the camellia, white dove, is looking really spectacular. Of course, now it's the 3rd week in bloom, and the fronds are still unrolling on the Australian tree fern. It got pretty badly damaged because of the roofing work. Let me turn around here. This was the other thing that was done. the roofers went ahead and painted. They had put new wood up there on the roof and had to paint that. So basically the roof is done, but for the gutter. Oh, it's starting to sprinkle. Not a big cloud, but I welcome all the rain we can get. These are the paper whites from last year. They will bloom if you plant them in the ground, but they won't bloom all that well. I mean, maybe every 2 or 3 years they'll send up a flower. You can tell the ponytail palm came this way. This camellia is still in bloom. It has the hugest flowers. It always reminded me of a carnation. Back in here, I was sitting out last night enjoying the fragrance of these peach Angel Trumpets. Flowers are coming on the Pieris japonica. One thing, when the Angel Trumpets go, it will mean a little more sunlight for the Pieris japonica underneath. My Lenten roses are coming back. Those leaves, they'll bloom usually December to January time frame. These are covered over here, but they are starting to leaf out underneath the caladium. Here's where the ponytail palm was positioned for now. I'm going to sit for just a minute. Yes, this area had a big tent over here this week where equipment was being stored, as well as the bed from inside the Garconniere. But here you can see the gardens are looking fine. Still have the encore azaleas doing well. I'm glad to see we get a little bit of rain, because the tent was set up in this area, so that'll mean some moisture will get to it. It is the time of the year for thyme, no pun intended, but I planted that and it is doing well. It always does well in the fall and the cooler months. See, this lavender was planted the same time as the one in the front yard, but the one in the front yard really took off. Hello. Let me step up here. I've got a weak leg today. I hope to get up there. Trying to figure out how to do it with this phone. Let me use my better arm. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to get up there today. Sorry about that. I did a little bit too much yesterday. My leg is weak. We'll probably try it again at the end of all of this. What I need to do is rest for a little while, and then I'll get my energy back. The new roof looks fine up here. It's doing really well, as is the pitcher plants. I see my Fatsia japonicas are starting to bloom. This is a nice area under here to sit. There we go. I'll rest here for a few minutes. Yeah, normally I walk when I'm tired like this. I'll walk with my cane, but it's hard to walk with the cane and have the camera as well. So I'm winging it today. It's just because I did a lot of exercise this week. I'm just tired. But I like sitting under here. This is my little secret spot because you're in the shade of the loquat. Got a camellia up overhead. And it's just very nice as long as you can get away without the mosquitoes. And right now there are no mosquitoes. This Angel's Trumpet never bloomed this year, but it did live. That was a cutting I took last year. I don't think I'll be taking any cuttings of my Angel's Trumpets this year. I'll just let the ones come up that are from the roots, because they are root hardy in this area. Some animal was digging here. I had to fill the hole up with potting soil because I'm out of other things to fill it with. Oh, there's a bird up there in the palm tree. That's probably what's running around knocking stuff down. There are bugs that live up in that rotting area of the palms, so birds have learned that and like to peck around in there. Squirrels do too, but for some reason this year I don't have a lot of squirrels in the area. Oh, the sun is coming out now. Go figure. That Angel's Trumpet has no flowers on it. But this one sure does. It has a whole bunch of ones coming. When the frost kills this back, I will definitely trim it back. We'll just see what lives through the weekend. And see. More Fatsia over here. The frost will start turning these leaves on the blueberries a nice purple color. Very similar to the coleus. I'll have to decide if I want to take coleus cuttings. This one I think I'll take cuttings of. The bananas, those are small bananas over there. They're barely making it above the aspidistra this year. Oh goodness. Let's take a walk up here. The cats were thrilled this week because the painter had, Patrick is his name, had a tent up in the back. And so they were able to shelter underneath the tent and play around with drop cloths and everything else. There's the bloom on the Sarracenia. Now I think I will probably save one of these papyrus, but I don't think I'm going to bother with all of them. I really don't need 3. 2 would be more than enough. And I'll definitely take in the carnivorous plants. What I may do is take them in and leave them in. Once when I get the Garconniere back together again, it would be nice to just put some plants there and let them live. The sun is coming out now. And this ginger lily I will plant in the ground. It's starting to look the worse for wear now. It is not ready for its close-up. Let me take this walking stick with me and see if we can make it up to the garage at Garconniere. Next week, hopefully all the furniture will be put back. The heavier pieces, I got the painter, Patrick, to help me with. So they're positioned. We made it, yes. It's one of those things I was uncertain before, and I figure better to have a stick rather than fall and regret it later. It is a mess in here in terms of stuff. However, ta-da! This is the color. It's a beautiful yellow color. Of course, all of the stuff that goes in the Garconniere is tucked in this closet. So gradually through the week, I'll be taking that out. And I'll be having a rethink of how I put pictures and paintings up on the walls. So we shall see. I'm also thinking of decorating in here. Basically, every surface in here was painted. The doors, the ceiling. The ceiling looks absolutely fabulous. It had major cracks in it from where the tree had rested. So I'm very pleased with how it turned out. But what I'm toying with the idea of is putting a patio panel here. And so I'm not going to put this painting back up until I hang the curtains. But I've been looking on Amazon. I think I found the one I want. So I'll put curtains here so that way it'll help deaden some of the noises. Right now it's very echoey in the room. But I do like the color. I still have to paint that. I didn't do any of that, so it'll happen. But yes, the ceiling is looking marvelous. Have the AC on out here to help dry things out. But there you have it for today. I'll leave you with, I guess, another picture of me. Just a corner shot of the room. And next week, this will be full of furniture. So until then, take care. See you next week.